All about why Ghana's Kotoka airport has change of name. I am happy. Many people on this platform have asked, blakkrasta, when is Mahama going to change the name of this airport? We had written petition upon petition to the president. And the president always told us, the time will come. And it looks like the time is here. Last week, Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa flew all the way to Guinea. And when he arrived, he walked straight into the quarters of Kwame Nkrumah, where he lived when he was in exile. This is a very strong Pan-Africanist, and I love him. He's a die-hard Pan-Africanist, this guy, and I can vouch for him. My brother, my sister, he went into Kwame Nkrumah's room and shed tears. Then he spoke with the government of Guinea, spoke with the family that owned the house. It belonged to the former president's family. Yes. Sekou Touré, Kwame Nkrumah's close friend. Kwame Nkrumah lived in that house when he went into exile after February 1966, when the coup d'etat happened. Oh, Jesus. When he moved in there, he was made co-president. In fact, Sekou Touré even wanted him to be president, but he turned it down nicely and begged that he would just stay behind in the periphery and support. Nkrumah was so respected. He spent a lot of those days writing his books until he fell ill and was taken all the way to Bucharest in Romania, where he died. My brother, my sister, he died. And when he died, he was flown back to Guinea because the Ghanaian government at the time was not ready to have Kwame Nkrumah. He was an exilist, and they said that he had mismanaged Ghana. Therefore, he should never try to come. There was a man called J.A. Ankara, General Ankara. He was the one who at a point was the head of state of the republic under the NLC, National Liberation Council. My brother, my sister, this man said if Kwame Nkrumah says he's a man, let him come back to Ghana, we will show him. Kwame Nkrumah wrote extensively about this man. He also wrote about some other people. In fact, when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown on the 21st of February in 1966, when he was on an official mission to try end the Vietnam War, he was begged by President Lyndon in America to come and help so that the war in Vietnam could cease, not knowing it was a CIA orchestration. They knew they could never overthrow Kwame Nkrumah as long as he lived here. The ambassador to Ghana at the time, one ambassador Mahoney, my brother, my sister, was a schoolmate of Kwame Nkrumah in his days in the United States. And he was always asking Kwame Nkrumah questions concerning his security and all that. And he was reporting that to the American government. Nkrumah trusted him because he believed that they were classmates, schoolmates, and all that. He reported everything. How Nkrumah had a certain magic handkerchief and all that. He said that. Later we saw all those in the declassified files of the CIA. Nkrumah was overthrown. He was overthrown by a guy called E.K. Kotoka. Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka. He overthrew him. He was a soldier who boasted that he was full of juju. In fact, he was born in Alakple, in the Keta district of the Volta region in 1926. Nkrumah was 17 years his senior. Nkrumah supported him so much. In fact, growing up, Kotoka wanted to become a goldsmith. Then he decided to change careers and decided to become a soldier. He went to Eton in England to go and train after the armed forces here, and he came back as a decorated soldier. He showed a lot of bravery, but his people feared him because of where he came from, one, and two, the fact that he had a lot of juju. In fact, his hometown, Alakple, is not too far away from Noboko, the seat of traditional Ewe power. This is E.K. Kotoka. He was the one who overthrew Kwame Nkrumah after taking bribe from the CIA, amongst other people. Nkrumah wrote that extensively in his book, Dark Days in Ghana. Can I tell you more? Come here! Now, after Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown in what was known as Operation Cold Chop, every coup has a code name. Operation Cold Chop. In Ghana, when we say this one be cool chop or cold chop, it means cocoa is cool, it's easy. Why did they call it cold chop? Because the Americans had planned that they would take Nkrumah out of the country. And once he was gone with his juju, kankai nyame and all that, they would strike and just take him off. And truly, it was a cold chop. Not that cold, maybe lukewarm, because soldiers stood up. Some were deceived. People were shot like Bawa and killed in cold blood. Those who stood in support of Nkrumah. Nkrumah's own mother was asked to speak against Nkrumah and say that Nkrumah was not her biological child and that he was Togolese. She refused. She said, no, my biological child, I will not do that. Nyaneba. Nkrumah was overthrown. And when Nkrumah was overthrown, something interesting happened. And I need you to come along. He was overthrown in 1966, February. On the 17th of April, 1967, just a little over a year, there was another coup d'etat. This one was called Operation Guitar Boy. You know why they called it Guitar Boy? There was a popular Nigerian song composed and performed by Sir Victor Uwaifo. Sir Victor Uwaifo, Guitar Boy superstar. And the song was talking about a musician who had met a certain river ferry or sea ferry and all that. It was a hit song in Ghana. And those who planned the coup, my brother, my sister, decided that they would use that song for inspiration. You know, there's a lot of inspiration in music. Lieutenant Samuel Atta, Lieutenant Moses Yaboa. In fact, there was a third man called Second Lieutenant Ebenezer. Oh gosh, what's say? They were in a camp, the army camp, right there in Volta region. They said, no, Nkrumah must return. They love Nkrumah. They moved all the way from the Volta region in Operation Guitar Boy. That was their code name. When they came, they tried the coup, but the coup didn't succeed. But he succeeded. They saw this guy, Kotoka, and walked over to Kotoka with a pistol. Raise your hand. He raised his hand. Hey, Mausobolisa. Come here. Mausobolisa. Adano wato. Was simple half. Yay! He said, small boy in his heart. You, Lieutenant Moses Yabua, you are coming to me, a whole general. Agbe no heavy, agbe afumato, Moses pulled out a knife and stabbed him. Shook, shook, shook. Why did he stab him? Because they believed that he had juju against blade, against gunshots. So Moses soaked the knife in cat blood, the blood of a cat. It was prepared specially from the Volta region. And whilst dancing to some hot rhythms from the Volta, shook, shook, shook. Say, hey! Puyaka, puyaka, puyaka. One shot in his head. He was down. When he choked him with a knife, he started to beg. He spoke a word to him. We are brothers. Oh, nya bro. Oh, nya bro. Nya bro. He went down on his knees. Oh, nya bro. Nya bro. It was pathetic. They made him do exercises. March like a recruit. Hi, 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 hi. Then he would tell, oh, nya bro. Nya bro. Oh, nya bro. Medakuku. Medakuku. Nyabro. Nyabro. Ofaka bakaba. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, Nyabro. Nyabro. Medakuku. Nkrumah wrote this in his book. He begged. He begged a man who boasted that he had all the juju. He met his meter. Poof! One bullet, he was gone. Moses and his boys ran all the way to the GBC. And when they entered, the GBC had already seen a coup. The moment they saw soldiers, everybody ran away. They went into the GBC and then they put in Guitar Boy. And they were dancing. Ha! Dancing. Haba! Dancing. Dancing. They lost guard. And they picked them up. But after the coup, Kotoka went to London, basking in the glory of his new heroic acts of overthrowing Kankanyame. He was interviewed. Listen to what he said in London. This is Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka. Watch this. Kai.
How is the reconstruction of the country going since the overthrow of the Nkrumah regime?
Going very well indeed. Going very well. Everybody is working hard. And we hope it won't be long when things will be on good footing.
Returning to ex-President Nkrumah, do you think he'll ever try to return to Ghana?
We'll be very pleased indeed to have him back in Ghana. We'll give him the red carpet.
Thank you, sir.
BBC was there for the interview. Other networks were there. And he was questioned. Should Nkrumah return to Ghana, what will happen? He said, we'll give him a red carpet. We will give him a red carpet. And he gave that sinister laugh. Nkrumah in his book said, the man who boasted he had all the juju, and now he could turn into any animal and even fly and vanish. He was begging after he was humiliated by junior soldiers. So our good friend, Lieutenant Moses Yeboah, Lieutenant Samuel Atta, and of course, Second Lieutenant Ebenezer Osei were captured. And then they were taken to court. Look how they were approaching the court. Look at them. Marching to the courthouse. This is not a courthouse video. But hold it there. I'll take you through this. No, take this off and give me the courthouse video. I'll get to this pretty soon. Okay? So, they marched to the courthouse. General Accra and all his lieutenants around him, they marched, whoop, whoop, whoop. They were going to the courthouse for the trial of the lieutenants and the second lieutenant. And they took them to the courthouse. My brother, you should have seen how many people went to the courthouse so that they would see what would happen to Lieutenant Moses Yeboah, Lieutenant Samuel Atta, and Second Lieutenant Ebenezer Osei. They marched them straight into the courthouse and they buoyantly walked there. As they entered the courthouse, my brother, my sister, it was crazy. And I would like you to see the footages. What happened in court? What was said in court by General Accra himself? And how the soldiers stood trial. It was a military court. The three of them stood straight, whilst the judges were putting them on trial. This was Ghana in the days. Now watch how they went through. My brother, my sister, brother, my sister, that's them. These are the people. Whoop, whoop, whoop. They are going to stand trial. Stand trial. They are talking to them. They stood there and listened to them. Look at them. Whoop, 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 whoop. They are taking this man away. They're going to finish him. And in those days, you are sentenced to death by firing squad. They will say, yes, sir. Hey, 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 hey. You are marching to your death. Look, this man is marching to his death. Look how Ghanaian soldiers were marching in the days. They were sentencing them. I wanted you to see the video of the first trial where they said they were not guilty. You will see Accra himself even march to court. Now they were taking them to go and shoot them. Now play me the second video we played earlier. Now this is the firing squad. Teshin. Look at the number of people who came out to see Lieutenant Moses Yeboah shot. Lieutenant Samuel Atta shot Second Lieutenant Ebenezer Osei, and their judge was called Marshal. Look at the number of people who came out. Pershing shooting range in their numbers. Look at the car arriving. That's them inside. They're going to take them out of the car, tie them to the stake. We can't show you the shooting. We can't show you the shooting. The judge who sentenced them was called Marshal Otu. Michael Otu. Court Marshal Michael Otu. They went down. All of them were shot and killed. Right after that, they named the airport that Kwame Nkrumah built and called it the Accra International Airport. They took the name Accra, even though Accra himself was from Accra. He didn't care. They took the name Accra off and put E.K. Kotoka's name there, Kotoka International Airport. What an insult. A Ghana who should have been so proud that Accra had been named and slapped on a beautiful international airport, one of the first of its kind in the sub-region. He rather decided to put his friend's name there. The friend who did the coup and got Nkrumah out and made him head of state. So they called it Kotoka International Airport. This was the airport Nkrumah built, the old site. So they took Nkrumah's airport, removed the name he put on it, and named it after the man who killed him. This was what the airport looked like. Welcome to Ghana. You see Accra International Airport up there? Can you see that? My brother, my sister. Accra Airport. This was how small the airport was. Nkrumah built this. They took the name and then they decided to put Kotoka's name there. So when Ablakwa went to Guinea, and then they decided to get the house where Nkrumah lived and make it a heritage site, I asked a very important question. And he heard it. When you were traveling to Guinea, which airport did you use? Kotoka International Airport. How did you feel when you were entering the airport, knowing very well that this was the airport that Nkrumah built and is been named after the man who caused his removal as president? He wasn't happy about it. When he was returning, the same thing, they announced that he was arriving at Kotoka International Airport. He didn't feel good. So we decided to push. Because the family has already said it's a daily insult of Kwame Nkrumah for him to build an airport and be named after the person who overthrew him. Samia in an interview said, we could name it after any of our heroes. It doesn't have to be Kwame Nkrumah. Mahama has decided that they will name it originally. The name that Nkrumah gave it, they will revert to that name. Accra International Airport. Some have asked me, why not Ghana International Airport? I'm yet to see a country that has named an airport by the country. Togo International Airport. Ivory Coast International Airport. Benin International Airport. They normally will name it after the heroes and not necessarily the country. Normally. That might be the reason. But the biggest reason is that Nkrumah decided to name it Accra International Airport. My brother, my sister. There was a press conference and it was announced to us that this would happen. The majority leader in parliament spoke. What did he say? Watch this.
This meeting, he will bring those regulations. The Minister for Yeah, so the Minister for Transport will bring Maritime and Related Offences Bill, road traffic regulations to deal with the Okada legalization and the discipline that is needed on the road by Okada riders and tricycle riders. Then the Ghana Shippers Council regulations. And we are changing the name of our airport from Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport. So a bill will be brought by the Minister for Transport for the name of the airport to be changed from Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport.
So Kotoka International Airport is no more. We have Accra International Airport. Kudos. And of course, Emmanuel Amabua, Honorable Minister of Lands and, has also spoken. And he says, we cannot name our airport after a coup maker. And it's been published by Ghana Web. We cannot name our airport after a coup maker. You see it? Dash it away. Some analysts and historians of our nation who have that stature have also applauded the change of name and said it's in the right direction. There's this one here from KNUST, and he says it makes economic sense. My brother, my sister, it's a good idea. You see it? Ghana's biggest airport must honor history, not coup makers. Political historian backs KIA renaming. But the opposition NPP is not happy. Renaming of Kotoka International Airport has no economic relevance. See the level? They are fighting Nkrumah even to his grave. The greatest thing that ever happened to Ghana was Nkrumah. Today, a number of people come to Ghana because of Nkrumah, not JB Dankwa. Not JB Dankwa. A lot of people come to Ghana and even Africa because of Nkrumah. This guy here says, oh, it doesn't make economic sense. Does he understand economics? Can he define economics? So these are the people, the political riffraffs that we have that destroy our nation. Congratulations to the minister. Congratulations to the president. Congratulations to the people of Ghana. And the airport's name is not changed because of where Kotoka comes from. It's because of what he did, his contribution. There's a school named after him. There are 2 statues in Alakple and also somewhere in, I think, where did I see that? I think it's in Ho, right? Yes, one of those places I went, I saw another statue by the road. 2 statues. Those who see him as a hero, let them see him as such. We, those who don't see him as such, we will fight his name. Paul Adumochri and his friends support him. Paul Adumochri said Nkrumah was a dictator at a certain point. He was running down the economy. He would not allow elections. And because of that, the country was almost running into chaos, detention without trial, all those things. And the only way to remove Nkrumah was through a coup d'etat. Rawlings said a similar thing. So Paul Adumochri and Rawlings supported Kotoka in one way or the other. Why wouldn't Rawlings support him? After all, he himself was a coup maker. In a which way? It's the Black Pots, a.k.a. Kuku Show them all, where we speak truth to power. Congratulations to Ghana. Okay, so this is why it all comes to an end. We appreciate you and we love you. It's been the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo. And here we speak truth to.
Comment section one. No first time I ever visa over subscribe button also. Makramo.